This is Helen, 14 years old. His dark circles feel as if he has never slept enough. He doesn't care about his messy black hair since he doesn't like to put too much effort in tying himself up. It's unnecessary. The seat is at the back of the room, next to the window. He always sits there drawing quietly, as it is like everything to him. He doesn't like to socialize with people, making him a lonely one. There was a person being pushed to the floor after school. That's Tom, who is always the victim of bullying. Not because he did anything before, it's just the dislikes of people around him. These things often happen, and Helen is used to it. Though he does feel bad for Tom, he doesn't want to interfere, as it is quite bothersome. During recess, Judy says she's missing her watch as she searches for it. Helen doesn't help her, since it's none of his business. Suddenly, someone sees something flashing in Helen's bag. "What's this?" Ban says, as he puts his hand into the bag and takes out a watch that is trimmed with fake diamonds. Helen is very surprised to see it, as he does not know how it got there. "Ah, that's my watch!" Judy receives the watch after Ban seeing the situation. Both of them stare at Helen with a weird glare. "It's not me," Helen says, who is still drawing on his notebook without raising his head a bit. "Yeah, right." Judy leaves the classroom with Ban as she concludes. The following day, as usual, Helen sits at his table drawing. He notices that the atmosphere doesn't feel right around him. People start whispering about him. Even a few starts calling him out, calling him a thief. He decides not to explain for himself, as he knows that it's useless to do so. As time passes, Helen becomes the new target, a victim for people to bully. Everything he does now is being exaggerated. He doesn't like it, but he doesn't resist. He keeps the feeling in his heart, keeping silent. Until one day, Ban came to him and snatched him his notebook with his unfinished drawings on it. "Always doing these meaningless things," says Ban as he tears down a few pages of drawings, turning them into pieces, wanting to see Helen's reaction. At this rate, the feeling that he has been holding bursts out. He punches Ban in the face and starts to fight. Helen isn't that powerful, however, so he was beaten up in no time. Other students wanted to see the fight without stopping it. Some people even stomped him in his face and stomach. Right after the bell rings, everyone stops what they're doing and went back to their seat before the teacher came in. Helen returns to her seat as if nothing happened. The teacher enters the room later on. "Oh my, Otis, what happened?" Helen has so many visible bruises on him that the teacher notices right after she enters his room. Everybody turns to look at him, waiting for him to give a response, while glaring at him with a murderous look. "I fell from the stairs, miss," Helen replies as the glare disappears. After returning home from school, his parents also ask him what happened. He responds with the same answer. The blue jacket he is wearing covers all the bruises other than those on his face. His parents believe it without many doubts. Usually, when Helen's parents ask him about how he is at school, he always says he's fine. He even lied about making a lot of friends, living happily every day. Helen refuses to tell his parents the truth, since he doesn't want to make his parents worry about him. A few months later, he has gotten used to the negative comments about him, and getting hit or humiliated has been a normal event for him. He is completely immune to these things now. Who framed him in the first place? Why did the culprit do this? This doesn't matter anymore. Nothing matters anymore now. "Hi, you there?" Helen receives a message from an unknown user on Facebook. "Who are you?" he replies. "I'm Tom, your classmate." Tom has never interacted with him before. This surprised him a bit. What is it? Helen says. Are you alright? It's none of your business, Helen concludes Tom's question. Tom types for a while before coming up with, listen, I know how you feel right now. You're in the same situation as I am. I really want to help you, but I can't. Sorry. Afterwards, Tom and Helen text each other for a long time, and Helen feels much better after telling him all the pain and feelings he has been through. He can even joke with around Tom, often using smiley face to show his happiness. This is the first time he thinks he has made a friend. It is a warm weather in the afternoon. Come meet me on the roof after the first period in the afternoon. We need to talk. Don't ask me why. Texted Tom last night. Following his instructions, Helen meets Tom on the roof, waving his hand and walking towards him as he says, Hey Tom, what's up, friend? I have something to say. Something important, says Tom with a serious face. Remember the watch thieving incident? How could Helen forget about it? That was how he started suffering. Helen nods to show he remembers. I was a culprit. Tom looked down, scared to look into his eyes. What? Helen shocked. I stole Judy's watch and framed you as the culprit. Why did you do this? With you as the new target victim, my life is much better. Tom smirks. It's true, however, that even when everybody decides to bully Helen, they won't bother Tom anymore. He's just like an abandoned toy. For him, that is totally perfect. As long as he keeps silent, he will be able to live his school life, safe and sound. He succeeded. The plan was outstandingly perfect. Helen grabs the collar of his shirt, and after pushing him around a bit, they end up near the edge of the roof. Tom slips and falls from the roof. Helen instantly grabs his hand and tries to pull him back up, but Helen does not have that much strength to do so. I'm sorry, Helen. Tom falls. Helen closes his eye, scared to look at what's going to happen. He cannot imagine what would happen to one after falling from a 6-story tall building. After a policeman arrived, they have an interview with Helen. He was too horrified by that incident, however, to say even a word. Once again, Helen becomes the topic of discussion between students. Some people think Helen pushed Tom from the roof, but most of the others think that Tom committed suicide, and Helen failed saving him, because they saw him grabbing Tom's hand before he fell. That night, Helen was in his room crying, shivering. He cannot stop the guiltiness from growing inside of him. He needs to calm down, and suddenly a thought flashed in his mind. It's not my fault that Tom died. He deserves to die. This makes him feel much better, and his guiltiness fades away too. Helen creepily smiles. Tom has had his punishment. I suppose it's time for others to have theirs, isn't it? He cries and turns into laughter in the dark. Helen's classmates decide to have a party on that day of Halloween. But it's not to celebrate Halloween. It's just to have their friends come together to party. Of course, Helen was not invited to the party. The night before the day of Halloween, Judy and Maggie were texting each other on Facebook. Both of them live in a school dorm, and Judy's room is next to Maggie's. 9:03, Judy. Who's coming to the party tomorrow? I'm so excited, smiley face. 9:03, Maggie. Most of our class will be there, but I texted Ben so many times, and even though all the messages I sent are read, he just never replies to me. The hell's wrong with him? 9:04, Judy. He's probably working, I guess. 9:06, Maggie. Something weird's happening. I've been hearing footsteps coming from my door for a long time. I think someone's walking around the dorm. 9:06, Maggie. Wait, I'll go check. Using the hole in the door, Maggie saw something unusual. I said, Maggie. Oh my god, there's a guy outside who's wearing a mask and a blue jacket. He's holding a knife. He's all bloody. 907, Maggie. Fuck, he's knocking on my door now. 908, Maggie. Oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god. 908, Judy. Just calm down and find a weapon or something. Protect yourself. He's turning the doorknob. Good thing I locked it. I'm scared. Maggie, what should I do? Maggie, listen. Save me. Maggie, calm down. Maggie? Maggie? You there? The message is shown to be read, but Judy doesn't see Maggie's response. Suddenly, Judy hears the sound of her room door opening. The instant she turns around, she feels a terrible pain in her stomach. A bloody person who's wearing a mask and a blue jacket bursts into the door and stabs her. That night, all the students who were in the dorm were murdered. No one knows how that killer did it. The murderer used the victim's blood to paint on the walls of the dorm, with most of the paintings being the face, smiley face. Many of the corpses were being chopped and smashed, possibly to get more pigments. Helen Otis, the culprit, is still missing currently. However, in the chat room where Judy and Maggie texted each other, a message was written that responded to Judy's first messages at 9:03. 11:15, Judy. Don't be excited about tomorrow, smiley face, because there will be no tomorrow.